Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Lion Looks at Slay the Spire. Let's look at Slay the Spire. It's not WTF is, it's its own thing. You see, it's very different in meaningful ways. This is a new, and I know there's like two types of games I do Let's Look at of these days. Mostly because I'm busy, it's not fully because of the laziness thing. One of them is Zachtronics-esque programming games, and that's because I've become the turbo nerd as I've grown older. The other one is roguelites that catch my fancy, and this is, thankfully for the viewers, one of the ones that's in the secondary camp. This is a roguelite mixed with a deck-building style game, and I don't mean like a Hearthstone, I mean like an Ascension, like a Sushi Go kind of is a reasonable way to describe it, perhaps. It's a game in which you do attack, defend, buff, debuff, with cards, but you can actually like build your deck as you go. You can select cards out of your deck, you can upgrade cards, and then, you know, you start with like 7 cards. As you use them, they get discarded, but then as soon as you use all your cards, they shuffle back into the deck. So, I really actually, I saw Sleep Cycles play this, aka Big Tom, on twitch.tv/Sleep Cycles, and I said, oh my god, he's got the scoop on me. It's the next cool roguelite, and I'm not the first on the block playing it. It's 15 bucks. Came out on Steam a few weeks ago, or a week or so ago, in early access. I played 2 or 3 runs. We played it on the NLSS, and to be honest with you, I quite like it. Let's, before I embarrass myself by trying to describe it more, let's just play a little bit here. So I only have 2 classes unlocked. One of them is the Ironclad. Starts with gold, 80 starting HP, and at the end of every combat, he heals for 6. I have no idea what 6 unlocks remaining is. We also have the Silent. At the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. A Deadly Huntress from the Foglands eradicates foes with daggers and poison. Let's try the Huntress, because I've never used her before. Another way to describe the game is that it is kind of like FTL, in the sense that you get to choose what node you want to go to throughout the game. But the combat is really, it's card-based. But it's not, and I know that some people, they look at cards and they go, I don't like it. It's really just turn-based combat. The card building stuff is a cool gimmick thrown over top that I actually really like, but you could just think of it almost as if it's a more traditional kind of like Darkest Dungeon RPG, but you only get to choose the attacks that you do, or the actions that you do, I should say, based on the cards you have. So this is big three-eyed whale man, who I think his name is Meow. At least confront the first boss. Don't insult me. So the game takes place on various parchments like this, which are maps, basically. And you can work your way through them relatively quickly, and you can save your run between doing these. And a run is persistence, so just because, you can think of this as like one floor of Isaac. Once we get up to this guy and defeat him, which hopefully will work, this is the boss right here, we'll move on to the next level, but all of the synergies that we've collected, all the items, all the relics, as they call them in this game, and all the cards we've added to our deck and upgraded within our deck will move on to us with the next level as well. We start with the Ring of the Snake, which is a relic that allows us to draw 2 additional cards at the beginning of combat. And you can see here we've got paths, like question marks, we don't know what they are. These regular faces are enemies. We have a merchant here, we have a merchant here, we have campfires. Campfires allow you to rest. I'm not really going to plan my route too far in advance, but I do want to get a good smattering. So why don't we go this way? We'll start here, and we'll try to go maybe left. Alright. So there's no, like, active time battle, Final Fantasy type stuff going on here. What we do have is energy. So we have 3 energy. And every card has an energy cost associated with it. Strike and Defend are the most basic cards, and then are no neutralize. Deal 3 damage, apply 1 weak. Weakened creatures deal 25% less damage with attacks. Okay, so we'll use 0 energy and apply that. So now you can also see what the enemy is going to do on their next turn. He plans to attack for 7 damage. So if we can get 7 block, then any damage that we do, or over 7 block, any damage that we do is free damage because he hasn't hurt us in the process. So let's throw a defend out there. Let's throw a defend out there, and let's deal 6 damage. At the end of the day, it's maybe not the worst idea to take a little damage to kill him faster, but in this situation, we're not healing after every combat, unlike the main character, so I don't see why you would necessarily prioritize that. So he hit us for 7. He did steal gold, but that seems to be fine. And then once you finish a round of combat, like you finish your actions, you throw all of your cards in your hand into the discard pile. And again, once your discard pile, or once your draw pile has 0, you start to reshuffle the discard pile in and draw from those again. So you can see right now, you know, we have like 12 total cards in our deck. We'll add 1 card after every successful combat, and then on average, we'll draw that new card once every 13th draw, which is really, really frequent. So you can see how you want to like stuff your deck with good cards and cards that can maybe fulfill a kind of synergy. It's a neat gimmick for a roguelite that has never been done. A lot of roguelites are just like, hey, we're Isaac, and I'm not trying to be rude, but like, we're Isaac, but like a little worse, a little less interesting. This one really, really does its own thing. There are games that are, you know, not just Isaac, but in my opinion, not as good. Dead Cells does its own thing. Obviously, FTL does its own thing. Enter the Gungeon does its own thing. And so does this. So this jerk is going to hit me for 10 again. So I'm going to put up more than 10 block and do a little damage and move along. You can play this a lot faster. I'm just trying to explain it as time goes on here. We can heal with potions. We can also get like a chance to rest in the future. He's going to hit us for 12. We don't have weaken, huh? Well, if he's going to hit us for 12... Oh, we do have a weaken. Okay, so we'll neutralize him. Now he's going to hit us for 9. I'm going to use Survivor, which gives us 8 block, and then we choose a card to discard. I'm going to discard my defense here, and I'll just choose to take a little damage to kill him faster, because sometimes this guy will just run away with your gold. So I'll choose to accept 1 damage here. And, I mean, first off, it puts us at the magic number as far as HP goes, but, oh man, this is actually terrible. Hopefully he doesn't run away here. If he doesn't run away, he will die next turn for certain, but he's stolen so much of our gold that I really don't want him to escape. We need to do 14 damage. We have 3 strikes. That'll do it. Okay. So that's 1 basic round of combat. Enemies become much, much more difficult as the game goes on. I assure you of that, and we'll see it as we move a little further. So we got our 45 gold back. I also, like, this is kind of a minor thing, but I love when you click it, it instantly goes to the UI instead of taking later, like, longer to populate. It's a very smart user experience choice. And this is really almost like your Isaac, you know, what item should I take situation here. Because by building, you don't want to just choose the best card. You also want to choose a card that can maybe create some synergy in your deck. So, I mean, all of these have good things associated with them. Acrobatics can help you draw the kill card you need. You draw 3, discard 1. It does cost you an energy, though. Deadly Poison applies 4 poison. So what that'll do is it'll do, first turn it'll do 4 damage, then 3, then 2, then 1. So essentially this is 10 damage for 1 energy applied slowly over time, and then 0 energy for 4 block. I almost want to throw that in there because, I mean, the poison seems cool, but 0 energy for 4 block seems great as well. And we can get synergies throughout the game, like some of them will be, I'm sure for this character there's going to be relics that are like poison damage is doubled or +1 damage to all poison, and you know, so if your block gets above X, then your attack does damage equal to the block, etc., etc. But you know what? Poison seems cooler. Let's go with poison. Now that I've thought about it, now we get a choice. Let's go question mark. Sometimes, pardon me, you get like narrative choices like this. You walk into a room to find a large hole in the ground. As you approach the hole, an enormous serpent creature appears from within. Hoo-hoo, hello, what have we got here? Hello, adventurer. I love this up and down text. I'm not sure if that's just like a plugin you can get on the Unity asset store, but whenever I see this, I'm like, oh, they played N64 Collectathon platformers. Hello, adventurer, I ask a simple question. The most fulfilling of lives is that in which you can buy anything. Forgive me, Father, why should we bother? Buy any... Billy Talent, anyone? Okay, so we could get 175 gold, but get 1 week at the end of our turn, or we could disagree. I'm just going to tell you straight up, I don't want to lose 25% damage at the end of my turn when we draw this card, so, like, for the rest of... We're not going to be weak for the rest of the game, but in every bit of combat, we're probably going to draw that card once, so I'll disagree. The serpent stares at you with a look of extreme disappointment. I'm sorry, sir, it's just not a good deal. As you make your way down a long corridor, you see a banana, a donut, and a box floating about. No, upon closer inspection, they are tied to strings coming from holes in the ceiling. There is a quiet cackling from above as you approach the objects. Heal for 23, max HP +5, or receive a relic. Become cursed regret. That seems horrible. I will take max HP +5, please. If you eat the donut, it really hits the spot your max HP increases. Boring, but sometimes boring can be good. Alright, next battle. He's going to attack for 11. We don't have enough defense. Oh, we do have enough defense, actually. Yeah, we absolutely do. So we'll use Survivor. Choose a card to discard. I'll discard one of our 3 strike cards, so it's a very small penalty there. Remember, we get it back later. I'll use another defend, and then I think I'm going to afflict him with poison, because we can deal 6 damage straight away, or we can deal 10 damage over 4 turns. So I'll hit him with the poison right off the bat. Now, the thing with block is that you can't really stack up block long-term. You know, it's not like playing the warrior in Hearthstone. At the end of your turn, your block is gone. So we can see what he's doing here. He intends to block and use a buff. So in this case, we know what he's going to do. He's not going to attack, so for us, it seems to make the most sense to just attack as much as possible and not worry too much about block. Oh my god, what's the problem? Change is good. No, I don't. This is not a good time for a Windows update. Windows 10. Alright, so he's got 6 block, and he's going to do 10 damage. Let's deal 3 damage and weaken him for free. I love these 0-cost cards. He's only going to do 7 damage now. So let's gain 8 block, discard our other defense card, and then strike him twice. And he's still going to be hit for poison for 2 on the next turn. So we can probably kill him next turn. You can see how there's, like, strategy you start to pick up here. And I know some people, they much prefer kind of like the active style of gameplay. They much prefer the Isaacs, the Enter the Gungeons. But for those of you who could go either way, or for those of you who like the Darkest Dungeon style, I think this is right up your alley, and it's actually, it is early access, and people, they told me about it, they were like, hey, the game is good, but it is early access, so beware. Sure, maybe there's room to grow, maybe it's not quite where it is going to be at the end of its existence here, but I kind of think that that's, like, secondary to the fact that the gameplay loop is already, like, really fun. Alright, gain 5 block, block is not removed at the start of your next turn. So this is just like almost a strictly better defense card. Sucker Punch, deal 7 damage and apply 1 weak. So this is like a strictly better strike card. But then if we get more deadly poison, let me think about this. So we take 1 energy, we apply poison. They have 4 poison. We take 2 energy and apply 2 poison. Or sorry, 8 poison. They take 8, then 7, then 6. It's 21. Then 5, 26. 4. I think they take 36 damage overall, over the course of 8 turns. Sucker Punch does seem very, very good. I'm almost thinking that maybe the more poison, the better. Let's try. Maybe we can do like a poison synergy. It is my first time trying this, but we'll see. So then you come across merchants. Merchants sell you things, and maybe there's some cards that we'd like to throw in here. We can afford any card except for Sadistic Nature, which is a power. We'll talk about powers later. You can also remove a card from your deck for 75, although it costs more in the future. I like all of our cards so far, but sometimes you will be afflicted with a card that's bad, like a cursed card, for example, and you'll be like, okay, well, for 75, I'll just remove that card that was like, you know, when you draw it, you get 1 week for the rest of your turn. Anyway, deal 9 damage, draw 1, discard 1. That seems good. Gain 5 block, draw 2. It seems fine. Oh, we can afford gain 2 dexterity. Powers give you persistent passive abilities for the rest of the combat that you're in. So I kind of think that this is good. I don't know what 2 dex does. Maybe it gives us more energy. Let's try it, because I don't know what it does. I think we should try it, and we'll save the rest of our gold and let us proceed. There's no need to camp. I think we should fight an elite enemy because... Actually, no, there is a need to camp, excuse me. Because you don't just rest at camps, you also smith. And this is another integral mechanic in the game. You can use smithing to upgrade a single card in your deck. And by upgrading it, you basically take a card and make it strictly better. So I kind of feel like Survivor's a good card to upgrade. It doesn't upgrade all strike cards if you upgrade 1, by the way. Neutralize could be a good card to upgrade, but I hope it's apply 2 weak, but it might just be deal 4 damage. And I feel like Footwork. Oh, it improves block gain from cards. Let's upgrade Footwork because it gives us a passive ability for the rest of the level. So yeah, it goes from 2 dexterity to 3 dexterity. Poison goes from 4 to 6. I mean, that does seem good. Ooh, I don't know, though. Deal 4 damage, apply 2 weak. I think that gives 2 turns of taking 25% less damage. But you know what? Let's up our block. I think that you could go either way here. So yeah, that's essentially how you upgrade. Let's go fight an elite enemy, even though that scares me and also locks us into a path forever. Oh, I hate these guys. I'm a little scared about these guys, to be honest with you. Let's see what they're doing to start with. They're going to attack for 24. Let's start by gaining dexterity. I thought maybe there would be something on the screen that would help me there. Gain 8 block. Okay, so we'll neutralize, and we just want to make sure we're killing one. So the one that we want to kill negates 1 debuff. Nothing we can do about that. Still got to be done. It's free damage. And I didn't even notice that before. That's fine. Certainly we want to gain as much defense as possible, and we'll discard one of our strike cards. And then we choose, at this point, would we rather deal 6 damage and take 13? Or would we rather deal 0 damage but take 5? I think I'm going to deal 0 damage but take 5 here. Didn't make much progress, but it's a start. So these elite enemies could honestly get me. I'm going to do my best here. We want to make sure one dies. Is poison a debuff? It does say apply. I'm going to err on the side of poison being a debuff. So these guys are going to do a negative effect on me, which means they're not attacking, which is merciful. So let's start with 1 block. Now I can do attacks without worrying about it. So let's poison this guy. And let's strike this guy. You know, the faster you can focus one enemy down, I think in this case it'll be better for us. So we should take no damage, but get debuffed twice. So they put wound cards in our deck. Those are really bad, and card draw is what counters those. But essentially, wounds are just dead cards in your hand. They don't do anything. So I'm going to be hit for 16 this turn. 6, 6, and then another 4. I don't think we're going to kill anything this turn, so I think we're going to block, and if we apply deadly poison, I'm pretty sure that this dude is going to die. But you know what? Why don't we try to knock... And he's not going to die next turn. He's just going to die in general, is what I mean. This is better. It just takes another turn to manifest. Okay, so we're going to get debuffed again, probably with more wound cards. When we start to draw these wound cards, you'll understand my concern for why they're very dangerous. But I think we're doing a good job of target selection so far. Could always be wrong. So we drew 2 wound cards. Essentially, that means our turn is played for us. We got lucky that they're not that bad. See, you can't do anything with these. These just fill your deck with garbage. I think they might get removed at the end of combat. I certainly hope they do. So our turn is going to be block, and then deadly poison, and we'll see if this debuffs them. We're lucky we're not going to take any damage here, but yeah, it negated the debuff. So we're going to get 2 more wound cards in our deck, and it's just going to continue to get harder and harder for us to ensure that we're going to draw cards we're fans of, because I mean, these are starting to overflow the deck. Luckily, we do rest after this. So again, our turn is essentially set for us. We'll weaken this guy, because he's already had his debuff thing removed. We'll strike this guy, and then he's guaranteed to die before he gets a chance to attack, and we'll defend. We're going to get some more wound cards, but we're not going to take any damage right off the cut, because we have exactly the block required to mitigate his attack. But please, no more debuffs. Okay, this isn't that bad. We're going to gain 11 block and discard a card. We're going to discard wound. We're going to defend, so we're going to take no damage. And then we're just going to keep slowly whittling them down here. I think this is what it's about, you know? I mean, we could afford to take some damage, because we have I think we have a campfire right after this. And on a campfire, you could choose... I mean, again, the turn is set for us at this point. On a campfire, you could choose to heal for 25% of your HP, or you can upgrade a card. I would much rather upgrade a card than have to heal, but if we have to heal, we have to heal. Now it's starting to get bad. See, because we're doing one thing on this turn. I think... First off, we're going to take 8 damage. But I wanted to get his debuff thing off, so maybe we can put a bunch of poison on him. But our deck is probably like 50% wound cards at this point. So I'm still not 100% sure we're even going to survive. But we're going to try. You know, every turn we essentially just get to do this over and over. We just get to hope we draw 2 wound cards instead of 3. And then, you know, usually that allows us to make some forward progress here. But these are elite enemies. These are not supposed to be... These are not supposed to be easy to kill. So I could have debuffed this guy, and that would have been slower, but better. We guaranteed would have taken 8 damage from the guy who lived. Instead, I chose to double up on the poison in order to kill that guy, the first guy, faster before he could attack. So apply some weak. He's only doing 6 damage this time. And now we want him to choose to attack at all times, because the less he floods our deck with wound cards, the better our life is. See, this is just like, okay, 1 defend, 1 attack, and then more wound cards. The longer this fight goes on, the more the advantage goes to them, but the fact that we managed to take out 2 of them quickly enough here, I think is going to do it for us. So, we will strike, we will defend, and we will gain 11 block and discard a wound. So there is, I would call them light strategy elements. You do, I think it benefits you. He's gonna live with 1 HP. To think things through and not just play cards that you think are correct. You know, there's kind of like, especially early in the game, there's almost like a flow chart that's just like, what do I have? Wow, we got 5 wound cards. And then he's not even gonna attack. He's just gonna put more wound cards in our deck. If we're stuck with these wound cards forever, we will lose the game. But if not, look, they're done. That was annoying. 28 gold. We also got a relic. I guess maybe elite enemies always give you a relic. Start each combat with 10 block. That basically means we don't need to use block on our first turn if we're against a lot of like weak enemies. Then for cards, apply 3 poison, 3 weak, gain energy, draw 2 cards, and then exhaust. That means it's used once and then it's done. At the start of your turn, apply 2 poison to all enemies. That seems amazing. Even though Adrenaline also seems very, very good. In that, you know, you actually play it, gain 1 energy, draw 2 cards, and then you never see it again in that combat. 2 poison damage to enemies every turn seems awesome. So I'm gonna put that on there. And then we got a campfire, so let's rest. Sorry, by rest I mean upgrade an item here. Wait, can you only have 1 power? Or is it if you use a power, it's gone forever? Or is it just... Hold up. I think it's just that we've already upgraded a card once, so we can't upgrade it again. So these cards are too basic. I don't want to upgrade those necessarily. Gain 11 block, discard a card. Deal 4 damage, apply 2 weak. I don't know, I think I kind of like apply 6 poison, or maybe apply 3 poison to all enemies. Upgrading powers seems like a fairly sensible idea. And then we got a treasure chest, which has always been good so far. Whenever you play a power, heal 2 HP. So this is another relic. Again, these are like your passive items or trinkets up here. Anytime we play a power, we heal for 2. Not that exciting, but once we get more and more of these going on, you actually can have some Isaac-style synergies. So we definitely still have footwork. He's going to attack for 7 and do a debuff. So we're going to, at the start of your turn, apply 3 poison to all enemies. Gain 3 dexterity, and that healed us again twice there because of the bird-faced urn. And since we start with 10 block, we might as well just hit him with something. And the most damage we have is deadly poison. It just takes a while to enact it. So he actually... Next turn, he should get 2 extra poison as well. 3 extra poison, right, because we upgraded the card. Alright, this guy's eating it. We are weakened, as you can see right here, as a result of his debuff. But, you know, we can also weaken him. And then throw in 2 blocks, which are going to give us way more than enough to get 100% blocking on his damage as a result of the fact that we have higher dexterity, which again makes our block better. So this guy's totally screwed, is essentially what it comes down to. He's got 8 poison on him. We actually are going to get hit for 4. I don't think there's any way around that. But we'll apply another 4 poison. So he's going to take 12 poison damage at the start of the next turn. And he is going to hurt us a little bit, but not very much. You can see, I think that I'm trying to get it across here, and I hope it's coming across relatively well. Like, my dude, you are actually... If I deal 6, you're actually dead. So everything else is just a bonus at this point. Might as well defend, I guess. I think it's a testament to the game design that you actually can have these sort of roguelite-ish runs within a deck builder sort of context. It's a cool way to explore this space that I don't think has necessarily been explored before. Dexterity potion, these go up here, and we can consume these during missions. or during combat, I should say, to give us buffs. Draw 1, discard 1. Gain 4 block, and next turn gain 4 block. So that's 8 block over 2 turns. I don't think it's that good, but with dexterity raised, it's probably 12 block, but deal 8 damage, and next turn get a free energy. I like that. I don't respect card draw as much as I should, and I'll be honest about that, but we'll keep playing this one until we get to the boss. But I think I've done an okay job of explaining what I was trying to explain about this game. I think it's very, very fun, and I think it's a cool take on the roguelite, FTL, Isaac sort of thing. Even though it's in early access, it's got quite a lot to offer right now. So what's your special ability? When less than 50% HP will split into 2 smaller slimes with Spike Slime Large's current HP. Okay. I understand. Oh, we're gonna start with our, we're gonna do like almost exclusively attacks, I think, and powers. So I'll do Flying Knee, which does damage and gives me a bonus next turn, and then we'll also apply the poison. Remember, I want to make this clear. It's not Hearthstone. When I draw a card and play it, it's not lost until the end of the game, or the end of combat. It's lost until we use all the cards in our draw pile, then we draw from our discard pile. So it's not like this was the wrong time to use that card necessarily can apply here. Frail. Gain 25% less block from cards for 2 turns. Okay, but he is only going to do another debuff next turn, so we'll continue to apply poison and strike and strike. He is going to split below 50% HP here. Does he still get to attack? No, that's wonderful. So they're both going to continue to do debuffs, apparently. Because they're doing debuffs, I feel like we don't need to... Oh, we have 4 energy this turn, that's right. I feel like we don't need to block, so we'll just start applying powers and then, you know, end our turn without getting any block. Dude, Noxious Fumes is a power, the one that does the poison. It applies 2 poison damage every turn. Is so good. Seems so good, I should say. Alright. Well, Flying Knee plus Strike equals you're dead. And then Neutralize weakens you, and then another 6 damage. You're probably dead next turn. We have more energy next turn anyway. I'm going to give you a little advice. Spike Slimes, I think you should prioritize choosing to do damage ever over the course of your life is the thing. So you're going to do 8 damage. Are you going to live? You're at 7 poison damage? You're not going to live. Because now you're at 11 poison damage. And you will die. This, like, Plague Doctor character seems kind of cool so far. Swift Potion, draw 3 cards. Should use those potions because you only have 3 slots for them, but I'm waiting for the boss. Add 2 Shivs to your hand. Shivs are 0-cost attacks which use Exhaust, which means you can only use them once per combat. Poison Stab, deal 5 damage, apply 3 poison. So that's effectively an 11 damage attack. It adds 11 damage, I should say, which is very good. But retaining a card is pretty good as well. It's a power, which synergizes with the bird-faced urn. And it costs 0. So the ability to choose 1 card to save per turn does seem decent, but so does Poison Stab, honestly. An 11 damage attack seems good, but sure. We have some power synergy right now. We're getting up there. We're getting pretty close to being able to fight the boss, at which point this video will end, and it will be... I think it's come across relatively well. They're going to attack for 17 this turn. I will take some damage. It's just a matter of how much. On taking attack damage, rolls up and gains 3 block. Does it still attack when it's rolled up? It does. You know what? We're gonna take 1 damage right on the chin, but we did manage to kill that 1 unit, so I think this is fine. All we need to do is play powers to get that HP back anyway, so yeah, sure. He's gonna do 7. We'll do Noxious Fumes. We'll defend. And now we're still gonna take damage. I'll do Survivor just because we do have a an advantage. Oh, we do still have energy, my mistake. We do still have the advantage. We've put poison on him as a result of our power starting next turn, so we're ahead of the curve here. We'll do Well-Laid Plans. That will heal us for 2. We'll do Footwork. That'll heal us. And then he's going to use a block and a buff. Well, you're also going to be extremely poisoned. I will choose to retain defend, because with our dexterity, we have good synergy with defensive cards. So having one defend should be enough to maybe protect us from taking any damage, hopefully. All right, so he's going to do 10 damage. He's also gaining armor every turn. Or no, he blocked last turn. That's right. Okay. So he's going to do 10 damage. I think we should weaken him. Now he's going to do 7 damage. So we'll defend, apply some poison, and smack him for 3, I guess. And we will Oh, we're frail or something? That's why our block's not as good anymore? I don't know. We're trying here. I think we got him, like, this dude is strictly dusted. He has 18 HP, and he's going to take a little damage right off the cut. So, smack him. He's dead. He's already dead. We don't even need to retain one. Just toss him. The poison will get him. Okay, so we should really, really start using potions. I think this time we should go poisoned stab. The other thing is, maybe it only adds 11 damage, 6 of which is poison, but if it takes you from 12 poison to 15, it gives you more of the damage right off the bat than it does on the tail end. It's like a big burst, and then it slowly trails off turn to turn. So I do like 0 energy, 5 damage, but, you know, sometimes you want high-value cards, not necessarily just cheap cards. You find a shimmering mass of light encompassing the center of the room. Its warm glow and enchanting patterns invite you in. I will take 15 HP to upgrade 2 random cards. We get a better strike and a better poison stab. As you walk through the light, you notice the light is absorbed into you. It's scorching hot, however, the pain quickly recedes. You feel invigorated as though you received a well-deserved sleep. Before you lies an elaborate shrine to an ancient spirit. Pray and gain 100 gold. Desecrate, gain 250 gold, but become cursed or leave. I'll just take the 100 free gold. Remember, it's not just about beating this floor. There's many, many floors throughout the game. I don't know when it stops in this early access version, but, you know, that curse could be with you for the next 2 hours. So I want to not do that just yet, I think. But then I am going to heal for 30% of my max HP this time, instead of upgrading a card, because we're about to fight the boss of this floor. Alright. So this is the first time I've ever seen this boss. So there are 2 bosses that you can face here at least. The first time I faced the Guardian, this time we got the Hexaghost. So we're not going to get the synergy out of this, but we're going to do it anyway. He's got 250 HP, and we don't know what he's going to do. So let's start. We definitely want well-laid plans. We definitely want Noxious Fumes to start whittling him. And then I think maybe we'll just open with a defense. That'll give us 15 block. Oh, we still have one more? Yeah, that's true. Let's throw some poison on him as well to start him off right here. And we'll retain more poison for the next turn. Alright. Takes 4 damage. What is that? Alright, next turn he's going to do 42 damage. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage, my friend. Well, we can block 15. That's actually fairly low. But I think taking 27 damage is the best outcome here. Now we know, so we can attack him really hard on every other turn, I think. But this turn, we're going to eat it pretty badly. Yeah, that sucked. Oh, and now we know what he's doing. This turn, he's attacking for 6. That's not that bad. So we will play a power, which will heal us a little bit. Both of these are the upgraded strike cards. I think we want to continue to retain Deadly Poison. Let's neutralize him. Because we do want to play it at some point. It's going to start whittling him down pretty fast. I guess we do need to discard a card, unfortunately. We'll discard this strike, even though it's good. And then we'll play Poison Stab. Get that poison on there as quickly as possible with some regular damage. And we'll retain Deadly Poison yet again. So this time he's doing no damage to us. I think things look worse than they are right now. Oh, and then he's going to do 10 damage this turn. Okay. Is there anything we can do about that? We can certainly block 8. Oh, we can neutralize, which will weaken him. Now he's going to do 6 damage. Burn. Unplayable. At the end of your turn, take 2 damage. Ah, so every time he attacks with Seer, he gives us a burn card as well. Well, deal 8 damage. Next turn, gain energy. We can finally use Deadly Poison, I think. We definitely do not want to retain Burn. I thought I was being a smart guy, and I would be like, oh, I'll just retain that, and then we'll never take damage. But I realize now, what we could do is if we have this and, like, whatever that card is that gives us 11 block and then allows us to discard 1, we could discard this and not take 2 damage. So that's kind of like a win-win. I would rather block... No, that's okay. Oh, well, I don't know. Strike is a low roll card. I think we're okay to get rid of it. Basically, we're just trying to survive here long enough for the poison to just start crushing this dude. So we can see that he's going to block and do a buff on the next turn. But he's already got 20 poison damage. Let's make it 24. Let's smack him. We're definitely going to win here. We don't need to retain a defense card. We might want to make things a little safer, lower variance, but... Alright. He's going to do 14 damage on the next turn. Survivor is the one that allows us to discard, so I think we should retain that card. But we also do need block on this turn, so I think we're just going to use it. Discard a normal strike. We're still going to take 3 damage, that's fine. Apply extra poison. This dude is eating it from a poison standpoint. We don't need to retain a strike. If he doesn't kill us extremely quickly, he's got real problems. Because he's taken 32 damage a turn due to poison. So, we'll play Survivor again, discard a regular block card. We're still going to take 3 damage, I think. But no, we're not, because we're going to weaken him. Yeah, we're going to take no damage. It's all at this point... We might as well just retain a block, because, again, we're already, like, overhealed, so... And you know what? We should have been using the Swift card and the Dexterity Potions, maybe even. I totally forgot about those. In fact, on this turn, we should probably use the Swift Potion, so let's drink that right away. We don't need any more Dexterity, but... Certainly, we see him attacking for 8. We would like to do a Poison Stab. And Deadly Poison will take him to 42. Which means he's actually literally dead now. All we need to do is survive one more turn after this. And there's no bonus cards, so just toss him. Yeah, so next turn he's at lethal. Unless he shields. And this actually went very, very well. He's going to do 30 damage. Even that's not that bad. He's going to do 18 damage. But he's not going to live, so it's kind of irrelevant. End turn. Cool. We succeeded on the first floor. Not difficult, I'll just be honest with you. But I have died on the second floor. It gets much harder, so... We get a block potion. Thank God we did use a potion, so we filled up more space there. Envenom. Whenever an attack deals damage, apply 1 poison. Seems amazing as far as powers go. Deal 8 damage twice. Glass knife damage is lowered by 2 this combat. Okay, so it would do 16 damage, then 14, then 12, etc., etc. It still seems good. So does Adrenaline, but I'm going to go for Envenom. Poison seems to be working really well right now. And we get to choose a relic for beating a floor. Whenever an enemy dies, transfer any poison it has to a random enemy. Seems good. Gain energy at the start of each turn. You no longer gain gold. I don't like that. Gain energy at the start of each turn. You no longer use potions. Now, let's go with the Specimen. Very bad against single enemies. Perhaps good against multiple enemies. And then we move on to level 2, the city. And that's where I'm going to end this Let's Look At of Slay the Spire. Almost didn't talk about the game at all. It's really, really fun. It's $15, Steam Early Access. Check it out for yourself if you like what you saw. I'm willing to say that this is one of the more intriguing indie games that I've played this year for sure, and I'm eager to see where it goes from here. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the game. If you did, click the like button. Check it out on Steam. It'll be linked in the video description below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.